Another caster series from the Trash Can League. This is the round 4 game between Snoopa and Fitzbro. The opening map is on Punjab, and we see Snoopa playing as the British civilization spawning to the western map in the colour yellow, opening up with a market manor house. Found himself an early 50 coin treasure from his explorer, so that's probably going to sway his decision to go for the market. And his opponent, Fitzbro, playing as the Haudenosaunee in the colour blue, spawning to the east of the map. Now, oh no, Big Snoopa losing all of his water buffalo he's converted, and Fitzbro is just marching his war chief right down the middle on a war march, taking every castle he sees. Will it be a clean 5-0 sweep? He actually is. He's actually got that water buffalo converted. Will Fitzbro bring it? Looks like Snoopa's going to come back for it. Okay, Snoopa's just saved a 5-0 deficit to go 4-1 down, but Fitzbro, look at this. 4 water buffaloes H1. What a great start here from Fitzbro, and this is the first time I get to see Fitzbro and cast in his series in the Trash Can League. He usually likes to stream these games live, which you can catch him on his Twitch channel and then upload to YouTube afterwards, so certainly check his Twitch and YouTube out. But I noticed that he streamed this game at a very late time, so I thought, for all those European guys, let's get this one casted and let's get some actual content on Fitzbro onto this channel, especially ahead of this imminent patch. Matchup, Eero versus Brit. It's a matchup I don't really know that well, to be honest. I would like to say that kind of the Eero player here would like to be going for essentially a fast FF here, maybe semi-FF, one trading post, something like that, but wants to try and push in with strong units in the third age, the elite forest prowlers, musket rise, that sense. I think Snoopa can get away with a greedier play in Age 2. It used to be the days back in RE when Eero would just right-click you every game in Age 2 and there's nothing you could do about it, but times have changed and the Brit players have options. The Haudenosaunee player, Eero player, has less options in Age 1. They can't build a trading post with this Travois wagon, but has opted to build a farm instead. So 4 water buffaloes onto this farm, which, these are the equivalent of cows. That's a very, very good start here for Fitzbro. I'm quite impressed to see that there's starting water buffaloes and that farm placement. Another thing to think about as well is the... let's call him Farm Bro now. Farm Bro, another thing that he can consider is that you can get the food upgrades here from the farm in transition. They are expensive for what they are, but they do benefit both the berries, the farm, and the hunting, so it gives you options in that sense. Aging up 15 villagers, going up with the chief. I believe that's the villager politician there for the Haudenosaunee, so that'll give him a nice, decent eco boost into the next age, which he can then use to jump himself to the fortress age. Looking at his deck, he does have 1 versus 1 land, 5-vil with coin and or crate resources. Only missing infantry attack in the second age. That is a bit not confusing, but curious to say. He has conservative tactics in as well, but has new ways instead. So I think he's traded infantry attack for new ways, and this will give the Eero player access to counter infantry rifling, ranged cavalry caracol, and the cavalry crass from the longhouses. So he can tech his units, which I think is going to be a very good shout versus a Brit player who could go Musk Spam, Musk Huss. So I like the inclusion of the European ways in this deck in particular. Double Canya, double Cav, Crassiers, 5 musket rise. It's a good deck here from Fitz. Liking what I see there. I think we can see what Fitzbro's plan is as the game goes on. Got his villagers chilling at the tribal marketplace. These guys are just haggling over how much they want to sell the fur for. This woman here is actually making the fur very, very nice. And oh no, the other guys have left the tribal marketplace. I love watching the guy just hold a log saying, oh, how much do you want for this random piece of log? It's quite funny in that sense. Age up. There's the War Hut Travois being placed defensively. Clear indication of kind of defensive motives in Age 2, looking to Age to the third age, and that's a great synergy with the farm, helping him get the buffed livestock to actually, help him actually gather the food really quickly to jump to the next age. Or maybe he could use this to jump to the 4th age, and that would be a very smart play. Not too sure if Fitzbro is a very experienced player with fast industrial Haudenosaunee, but with 4 light cannons and infinite crates of resources, it's only a decent civ to go to the 4th age with, and we'll basically put the kind of the Brit mentality of going Musk Cannon into disarray. It's Musk Cannon will get hard countered by pure light cannon spam. It's a really strong unit, especially in this matchup. Right, let's look at Snoopa's point of view. We've rode with Fitzbro for a long enough time, and he's gone for the 700 wood into 5 likely to send 600 wood at a later point. No VC here. Open up the market. Early hunting dogs thanks to that 50 coin treasure. The Grove Rickshaw is out from both players, still scouting, which is good to see. I usually drop my Travel down a lot earlier, just because it's just one less thing to worry about. Make sure you don't lose this though, because it is 60 experience points, which is certainly enough to give your opponent, and it's certainly worth keeping an eye on it, as well as it just be a nice blockade, really, a nice wood source. It's just good to keep it alive. Did see Fitzbro there having it in front of his units there, trying to actually tank with it, so even making better use of the Grove Rickshaw there from what Snoopa was. So that's a really impressive play. Whether he meant it or not, I really appreciate it. He's actually bringing the rickshaw in the... Is that in the army? He just drag boxed the entire arm. He actually has. So Fitzbro looks like he does not play with easy military drag. He just dragged the Grove Rickshaw with his archers. What a meme. I like that though. That's good to see. I think that's nice to see that Fitzbro's aware of the 250 HP. Actually, is very nice to tank, and that's basically 2 AN's worth of damage as well. Fitzbro behind is going for Aero big button. He's got 1 TP in the middle map, and for someone who's gone for the farm, he's actually investing quite a lot into a 2nd age playstyle here. I thought the ANs were just enough to kind of keep the Musks at bay, ship the 4 Canyons to be annoying and raid him. He's actually staying in the 2nd age and going to continue this pressure. Obviously, European ways will not have any effect in the 2nd age. I don't think it's... No, it is. It's a advanced arsenal. You can get it in the 2nd age, but Hussar's coming in. The Tomahawk big button is actually looking to be a big brain play here from Fitzbro, and that's enough anti-camp to push Snoopa away. Another batch of ANs coming out, crossing the map, and continuously sieging the Manor House fort. Yeah, a very respectable 81 experience points will help his progression that a little bit faster. The only thing I would say is that I think I would prefer to see all crates of resources here. I'm not too sure how you can spend all of that 600 wood. The only way you can really spend all of it is dropping a stable and going into Canyon production, but Canyons is not necessarily what you need for the time being versus an H2 brick player going Musk Huss predominantly. Market coming down, obviously, get your market, great coats and hunting dogs. And so I was trying to have a little sneak on that ANs, but a couple of Tomahawks nearby. Explorer the crack shot, and actually the Tomahawks are doing their range damage here, not doing melee, which they really want to get close to. ANs in hand combat versus Hussars, and this is just the entire Aero army getting caught out into the open. Canyons do get brought in for the time being behind. Is there reinforcements on the map? There's no reinforcements being on the field, maybe being trained. Fitzbro sitting idle, stacking 500 of each resource, watching his H2 army go. He can still send units from the home city. He can still send the crate resources to try and age up. But felt that Fitzbro, especially with the farm start here, is undecided of whether he wants to play H2 or H3, and Snoopa saying thank you very much and going to claim his rewards from it, cutting down that early batch of units. And now Fitzbro without access to the Aero big button in the 2nd age. Harder time for him to remass, and look at the macro here, real struggling to get that food count going. He does have his cows though, nearly fattened. All 4 of these cows will provide so much food, to the benefit of having the farm. So it's the remass here from Fitzbro is still going to be legit. It's still going to happen. All crate of resources as well may help him jump to that next stage, but he will also have a little bit of over gather on the coin. I think it's is it 3 food, 3 wood, 2 coin. Yeah, so we'll have a bit of over gather on the coin there, but it'll certainly help his wood count and food count in the woods. He can save it for elite Tomahawks, get a stable down, and play from there. So yeah, losing those early units there was not ideal, but the remass here is on. He needs to get close to the war hut, though. He does have a couple ANs exposed to Hussars and not... He needs to get close to the war huts. These war huts will do multipliers versus the cavalry. And these Hussars just snaring, holding back these units. And another double volley there. Bit of nice Z move micro there. And Fitzbro just resigns. He resigns while not having access, while not using these water buffalo, which is... yeah, this is a crucial mistake. Having invested into a farm but not utilising your fattened livestock and crates just came in. But I suppose that was just a bit of, do I go H2 aggression? Do I try and do a semi? Try to just prod around? And the Snoopa with the Musk-Husk combination, the Hussars snaring, just doing so much damage there. And maybe Fitzbro feeling that he can't defend his hunt location. But a quick game there, must be said. And Snoopa will be taking a 1-0 lead in this series. Let's look at that military fight in the middle. I think that's a decisive action moment. And yes, that fight, 23 population aside. But quite a lot of the times, the Tomahawks were firing onto the Hussars. And then the air started to move. But when they did fire, they were in melee mode versus the Hussars. And the three of them were tanking. The crack shot from the arrow went onto the Hussars, which is, it's trying to kill those damage, the bigger units. But all the musketeers behind were basically doing that damage for free. Sometimes if you realise you're going to lose your army to Hussars, just micro. Just ignore the Hussars. Trade as much as you can, thinking, okay, I've got 15 ANs in the middle map. You've got 20 musketeers. My ANs fire twice as fast as your musks. They have multipliers. If I lose my units to the cavalry, it's fine, but I want to take down 15 of your musketeers with me. And that could have bought him a little bit more time to get that remass in. But Snoopa, big batch of musk, single batch of husk comes out. Charges across, and then the Aero army is in the full retreat, and then losing more units there for free, basically. And yeah, Snoopa closing out the game. It's a shame there was a lot more in this game still to come, and I think anyway in this matchup and in most matchups, Aero like Haudenosaunee, they kind of play very similar to French these days, and your objective really is to get to that fortress age. And from there, you can play on with very, very strong skirmisher and dragoon units, which quite a lot of other civs are jealous of how strong their forest prowlers are and how good their musket riders are at the same time. Bit of oil from the town centre as well going on, and maybe maybe Fitz just wasn't warmed up for this one. So I hope to see Fitz bounce back again for the next game, game 2. And hey, look, a perfect 10-minute game, if you can see. That's quite quaint as well. Houski is saying he'll pick lakota on Indonesia. That's something you could do. I mean, so the only rules I really have is that it's got to be from the standard map pool. There's a list online where you can see what maps are included from the standard maps. And you cannot play the same map as your opponent's home map or the neutral map, which I picked for game number 1. But yeah, if some magic patch comes in and Indonesia somehow finds its way into it being a standard map, then yeah, Indonesia could work. But I think for round 5, I've asked the players to play on Saguenay for the home map, and for round 6, I've asked the players to play on New England for the first game of round 6, which I know everyone will hate me for, but I enjoy New England games. It's a very strategically different game to, let's say, playing on Punjab or Kamchatka, a very standard map. The ponds, the middle map TP, the potential fishing on the side, and it's decent resource spawn actually. It's a lot of people think it's a bad resource spawn, but it's actually good. 3 coin mines usually quite close. Good treasures, a couple sheeps as well. If Cherokee spawn, it's a pretty decent option for natives as well. Plenty of options, and I think just across the board, plenty of viability. So I'm looking forward to that one in particular. Yes, this series was played on his stream, but I'm always up for casting games, regardless if they're streamed before or not. I don't know the results. That's one thing. Like I haven't actually, because it was so late, I haven't actually watched his series, so I'm going to cast it as if I've never seen it, which I haven't seen it. I'm going to move into the second game. Let's do it. I think, yeah, New England works quite well in that sense. It's an open civ pick for game number 1, but we're into game number 2. Snoopa is the home player, so he's chosen to play on the map Great Plains. He also won the last game as well, so he has to pick first. He's gone for the Incan civilization. Fitzbro counter-picking with the Dutch on Great Plains. My man, that is a great play here from Fitzbro. Fitz is being brainwashed by people thinking Dutch is OP. Dutch is strong. It's not OP. It has its strengths. It has its weaknesses. But I would argue that one of its strengths is the matchup with Inca. One thing I always struggle with in playing versus Inca is actually their priestesses, but quite a few players are not making priestesses these days. I would encourage people who play Inca to have them because they're just so tanky, so obnoxious, and just, yeah, they're undervalued by players. They are, I think they're hidden OP. I think they're really good. But lots of coin treasures on Great Plains. Now, if Fitz was aware of how the map spawns, he's already got his 11th villager here. I would argue to pull off your villagers from the coin mine and let your explorer, gather the coin treasures naturally on the map. And actually, if he goes this way and runs past the 3 stray sheep, he will come across another 50 coin treasure. 2 50 coin treasures for free. That is insane. And that will help the Dutch age 1 macro here. Oh, Inca's seen it. Is he going to dash for it? Oh, he's so close. He's going to dash for it. Just like Inca himself wants to try and maybe get the tech to get the 4 villagers in age 1. Considering the lack of chopping here, maybe he's trying to save that for after he clicks the age up. So I think a lot of players have started to delay that tech. I think a real big kind of proclaimer of that strategy is Gimmick, who do see in the chat today, which is good to see. Lowest live saying 13 Ville Dutch. No, it won't be a 13 Ville Dutch. It'll be 15 here from Fitzbro. Just have the shipment ready to go. His deck, called it The Deck. 3 settlers. No food crates in age 2, which I don't like players having just the coin crate instead of the food crate. Coin is very achievable with Dutch. And sometimes the food is useful to help you get your Hussar batches out, age up, and bounce back from being idled by in your town centre as your coin gathers naturally. So I think I'd argue that difference. 7 Reuters again. Advanced artillery. I don't really see why you want advanced artillery versus Inca. Maybe the strongholds, I guess, but yeah, Falconets should be enough. And although it's nice, you don't, as an actual card for what you get on the field, I don't really think it's special. Troop speculation. You need to have a lot of blanks for it to be really worth it. So missing refrigeration. But apart from that, though, all is fine. Has Fitzbro just scouted that 110 food? That's a huge treasure. He needs to go back for it. He's now got enough of a coin to train his next villager. Villager and a half, but he needs to get the bank down. He's chopping wood in transition, which is good. He's got to go back for that 110 food treasure. He must do. That is an OP S tier treasure. He needs to go for it. And yeah, he's actually herding quite well. He's got a nice villager split as well. More villagers on the wood. And you can see he's trying to get to that magical 350 food and wood together. But yes, he's now trying his best to herd. He's got his eco sets up. Yeah. I think now his APM can go for the Explorer. Oh no! Snooper's going for it. He's stealing it. Big Snooper stealing the cowboy with the conversion and picking off the coyote for 110 food. That's a bit of a shame. That had Fitzbro's name written all over it. But now Snooper's stolen it himself. Snooper sending 300 wood. It's card number 1 in this deck. Going for the more of a catcher house play. Quite greedy. He's spent the coin on the 4 villagers. He's up to 15 villagers on the field already, plus the catcher houses. Catcher house a little bit forward as well, just to kind of ahead of this hunt for scouting purposes, line of sight. H1, 2 priests, 1 now. Yeah. Yeah, the early priest was actually really strong, especially on maps where you could convert so many outlaws. I certainly don't like age 1 units being kind of military units, but the 5 priestesses in the 3rd age, I think is a very strong card. They're like 480 HP. They don't get countered by any units, so like a skirmisher will only do like 15 damage to them because they have range resist, so they don't count as heavy infantry. They can convert your hussars 1 by 1. quite well. And you know, if you're focusing your army onto 5 priestesses of like a combined HP of like 2.5 thousand HP points, the entire Incan army is just attacking you behind the priestesses tanking. It's such a strong shipment. I wonder if we'll see Big Snoopa sending that in this game. 600 wood coming from Snoopa. His deck has the usual cards. Has 3 Tambo Travois in this deck as well as with the American allies. So we could see a bit of maybe a bit of Cheyenne Comanche play. I don't think we will. Don't really want Cheyennes. They are Lancer. Well, they're kind of Prodomos style cavalry from Age of Mythology. They counter cavalry. That's about it. Yeah, like the Berber Camel Riders. That's how they roll. Comanche Horse Archers are also, again, counter cavalry, and Fitzbro here with the in-base racks. Yeah, neither of those natives would really function well. So we've got the 400 wood being spent on the barracks, a house, and a market here instead of a second bank. Here comes his second bank, a bit delayed from his point of view. I feel versus Inca, you do have enough time to go for bank on the 400, then bank on the 700, get your infrastructure up afterwards, and then send in the bank wagon. Fitzbro is sending in 8 pikes super early. Fitzbro, you're going to house yourself here. This is not he's not even building the bank as well. That's a shift click bug. That is really awkward to see. Early skirm batch as well. Investing resources into military before the eco is really sorted. And yeah, this is just not. This just hasn't gone well so far for Fitz. He's got enough time to recover though. That's okay. 8 pikes here. I just don't see you wanting to push the 2 war huts in the colonial ages. Dutch. The objective here for the Dutch player is to get up to the Fortress Age, and if you want to go for an H2 fight, force the Incan player to push your base, trap them with envoys, minutemen, pikemen, surprise pop, skirms behind walls, that kind of playstyle. So we see a lot of villagers on the mine having to mine to get the villager production and the skirmisher production behind this, and at this moment in time, 7 minutes. Could have had 4 banks now on the field for the longest time. If he went for an advocate of the 14ville age up, which I like to suggest on this map, you could be sending in your 4th bank by the 5th minute. So you're building your 3rd bank and then sending the 4th bank by 5 minutes to have such a strong economy, much stronger than we see currently right now. Yeah, I think it just shows a little bit of inexperience with the Dutch here from Fitzbro. Fitzbro, more of a Native American player. I'm surprised he hasn't gone lakota here versus Inca. We have seen Sheckler having good success playing as lakota versus Incan civs. He has won quite a few of his games as lakota, and I think Fitzbro needs to embrace the main squeeze as well. I think Fitzbro is just hoping for a bit of a lakota buff upcoming soon. I'm not too sure it will happen though. I think lakota, they are slightly weaker, but it'd be tough to see how to buff them to where it doesn't make them super strong. Cartoffel Joe saying Fitz is just a Dutch noob, no offense. I don't think he would take any offense as well. I think he'd be the first person to admit. But I think I saw Passy play his series versus Max, also go for a very early 8 pikeman shipment to deal with trading posts, but then you run into the problem of housing costs. You need to get an extra house down. That means you lack the woods to go for the next bank. Things you're down, you miss out the XP from the banks, so then you're down a shipment progression and all these things. It just starts to once things in the build start to go a bit off center. That's when you realize, hang on a minute, this is why that build has been perfected over these years, because how it helps each other progress. Anyway, scores are even. Fitzbro's eco 23 villagers with 3 banks behind this, so total villager kind of relative economic population output, we could say, is about 32 villagers. Snoopa 25, but he does have 13 catcher houses, and these guys are strong hunting dogs villager food output. So it's going to be about 39, maybe 40 eco here. So the Incan eco is a little bit stronger here than what the Dutch has got. A couple chimus here from Snoopa, 10 of them will actually pass through quite fast, like guys covered in butter. Won't be snared. Minutemen to be called here from Fitzbro. Pikemen held back in reserve away from the bowman. couple of skirms would be at risk, but what the problem is the skirmishers are having to fire at the Chimney runners. What ideally they want to fire at the jungle bowmen, because if they don't, then they're just going to lose numbers in this archer war. One Rack's got to go down here. No Minutemen being called just yet. Envoys would do very, very well in this fight to tank here from the jungle bowmen. Jungle bowmen will not have any multipliers versus these tanky economic units. Another Rack's been thrown down behind. But Puma Spearmen here working very well on these houses, moving from one house to another. Chimus are trying to watch the pikemen dwindle. Snoopa microing down the pikemen very well. And once the pikemen have gone, it's the green light for Snoopa to go onto the skirmishers. And Fitzbro, quick war trying to happen, doesn't manage to achieve it. Reinforcements here from Fitzbro, not really much doing for him at the moment. Calling Minutemen at the moment, but most of his army has gone down. 5 skirms being in queue. Shipment available. Will he go for CM or 3 Huss? 3 Huss is being called. But the Chimus on top of the villagers. Villagers know... They do have their great coats! Yes, it's great coats! Hooray! Fitzbro's going to win this game with his great coats. Let's look at Snoopa's reinforcements. Now sending Karari for the poison damage from the jungle bows. Another batch of jungle bows, actually. If it was a follow-up batch here of the Chimu runners, I think that would have really been tough to deal with. But actually, the fact that it's another batch of bows may give Fitz just a little bit of a breather he needs to kind of... carry on in this game. I'm going to try and wall up this forward wall. I noticed that Fitzbro has been trying to wall a bit more in his games, which is good to see. It's a nice skill to develop. But the weird thing with Dutch is sometimes actually is you want your opponent to go into the base, so you then can spam pop the units on top, which the Minutemen timing would have achieved. But it looks like the Minutemen will all gone down. I wonder if a villager's got poison damage happening, but then garrisons in the town centre. Will that villager still die in the town centre or not? I would assume not. But really interesting thought experiment. Plume Spearman working on the bank, and if basically a single bank here goes down, it's going to be tough. So much experience points going towards Inca, 280, and the inability for Dutch to afford to rebuild it, and the lost economic potential that provides Dutch. It's going to be really tough. Couple of villagers topside, chopping. Obviously, you can't gather the coin in base to buy at the market because it's covered by all his bowmen and spearmen. Enough resources here to go for another bank, possibly 2 actually. Just needs to buy 1 more batch of wood from the market, and he can go for his 3rd bank and build his 4th bank as well. Hunting has enough hunt in his base to survive just about. These guys, they do not have. They do have their hunting dogs for the time being, which is good to see. Yeah, sometimes it always feels quite hard to actually squeeze in hunting dogs because you always have like set integer amounts of 100 wood in your macro at any one point. So trying to afford 50 wood out of thin air is quite expensive in some settings. South American allies have arrived at your embassy. I don't know who's that for. Is that Snoopa sending in... Yeah, he sent in a native card, it looks like. But here comes Chimus. No pikes here to defend, or Hussars. And Chimus having a great engagement here. Don't see any fire dance here, but it's perfect surround surface area. Each Chimu runner finds an individual skirmisher. I see +12s everywhere. 700 coin coming in, but with no more skirmishers to defend. That pike shipment has already gone. 3 Hussars were surely about to hit the floor. No, because he cancels it for the coin. And I think that's Fitzbro's chance in this game has gone. Begging. And Snoopa showing dominance with the Incans. A civ, honestly, I just know so little about. I just know, things of the Incans, but it's one of those, again, one of the newer civs. So many options. It just seems very open-ended, quite tough how you want to go about and how you'd approach individual matchups. The duty's been called, and Snoopa taking this series 2-0. So I think the main story for this game would be possibly not tying... Yes, so Snoopa played that very well. The villager population continuous, the military production was very well, the plan was good, the build order rehearsed, standard play, and at the 1700 elo, the expected level of play to be achieved. I think from Fitzbro is obviously he mains the North American native civs, so Dutch is really unfamiliar for him. But it's kind of knowing of, let's say you're going to play Great Plains. It's knowing, do you know if there's how the treasures spawn? Do you know there's a lot of coin treasures? All those extra coin treasures could have helped you mine less coin in the first age, so you can get more food from your villagers. So when you transition to the second age, there's less resources to acquire for your bank. The bank comes down faster. You get the XP faster. The Fourville coin income faster. You can spend less time mining, more time gathering resources for the next. And you see how the playing Dutch, it progresses in that kind of setting. That it kind of, the more you put in, the more you get out. And then by grinding that kind of boom to a halt by going barracks, house, market on the 400 wood. The thing is, at that moment in time, you have all that food stocked up to go for that next bank, but you just can't spend it when the wood comes in, gets the second one down, calls early 8 pikes instead of sending the bank wagon as well. Another stunted, another decision which kind of slowed down that kind of Dutch economy there. And the Snoopa then pushed in with Chimus later on. We opened up with Bowmans because it's quite nice to kind of trade transition. Don't have to commit. But I think the early pikes there from Fitzbro is quite awkward. The thing is Dutch, most games, most matchups, and apart from Spain where you need to kind of really just get to the third age fast, I think the build order you can really do for most matchups these days is 3 vills, 700 wood, bank wagon, and from there you can do 600 wood if it's all good, CM if you're in big trouble, and then either food or like a Huss shipment or a pike shipment if you need to mass units in that second age. It gives you options in that sense, but the pikes being sent at that moment in time actually cause housing issues, slowing down villager production, and just gets a bit of trouble. It's what Dutch is a civ, which a lot of people say it's OP, but it's only OP because the build order is rehearsed and it's really crisp in that sense. It really helps, and it's a build order civ. It is a build order civ. Where India might be like a macro civ, and you could say probably Inca's a macro civ. Dutch is definitely a build order civ, and needs familiarity to play at a tournament level. Right, we'll go on to the third game of this Play All 3 series. Can Fitzbro come back and get a point on the board for him and his league position? Let's find out. Game number 4, Fitzbro, Snoopa. Let's do it. Oh yes, we get to see the main squeeze from Fitzbro coming out. The final game is going to be played on Florida. This is Fitzbro's home map, and he saved the main squeeze for the final map. And I can tell you exactly why. Starting market, coin treasure in base, massive treasures, strong explorer. There's an 80 wood treasure there. That's huge. That's an 80 wood treasure there from Fitzbro. As he scouted it, he'll come back. He'll convert that pirates. As soon as he sees it, he's doing it. Oh, this is gonna be an OP start here from lakota, wanting to try and get the early trading post. And yeah, that's great. That's great to see. That is actually. Snoopa though counter picking the lakota play by going with the Indian civilization. Civ Snoopa plays very, very well. I would say if you could play Dutch in this matchup. If you could play Dutch, this is a good matchup to go for the Dutch, and it's another good map for Dutch as well with the in-base market. You can buy your bank in transition, but India works very well with the livestock. Market transition for techs, and just generic, good units to have versus lakota, Zam, Gurkha, in-base defensive, aggro options available are plenty here for the Indian player. Snoopa will see the 100 coin treasure on the northern side. A bit too tough for him to take. I don't think he can really afford it. 40 coin, that could be useful if he wants to try and squeeze in the age 1 hunting bonus. I think Snoopa can try and go for one of the hunting bonuses. I'm not too sure he's teched it just yet. But behind here, Fitzbro, he went for early hunting dogs. Okay, early hunting dogs instead of chopping a little bit, mine a little bit for the trading post. Yeah, because he got to you got to spend 25 coins to actually get the ability to mine in the first stage. That's where it's actually really tough. So yeah, I can understand that. Could even sell some food at the market to get that extra. Yeah, okay, yes. So if you sell at the market to get 75 coin, you have 175 in total. Then you can use 50 to get hunting dogs, and then buy 100 with the markets to then help you try and get to the trading post because you've already got the 80 wood treasure. But yeah, you probably have to age up 16 vills and be a bit slow. So I think hunting dogs here on its own is a good play here from Fitzbro, and that should allow him to get a 15 vil age up with tempo, and play the game into the second age. Snoopa saying he plans to play as the French instead of the Indians and just picked Indians for the yellow swaggins. Yeah, the French have good options, obviously with the CDB resisting, maybe going for the kind of the Pioneers, Musketeers, CDB push outs, which you have seen in many tournament games, claiming even the best player. Just lakota thinking, okay, my build's going very well, then just out the blue turns up 25 buffed CDB and 30 Musketeers. You're like, dang, how do I deal with that? But I think India has options versus every civ, and I think versus, let's say, lakota, they have enough tools. Loving this wonder placement, covering that silver mine so that can't really get raided. Nowhere really else to put it. Maybe could have gone for behind town centre, but I think right next to the mine works really, really well. But Snoopa needs to herd in these deers very, very well. Now, I think this is priority, is certainly at least get this one right into the town centre and make sure this stays nearby, not getting too far away. Trading post in transition. He's actually gone for the trading post during the transition and the tribal marketplace. So when he does age up here from Fitzbro, age up with a 400 wood, he should have enough woods to go for a second trading post and a stable. But this leftover 50 wood suggests he's got his calculated. He wants to go for a war hut, maybe second trading post, maybe just war hut, stable, defense, to give him a bit of protection for him to age up behind. So we'll have to see if it's going to be second TP or just the war hut. I think, like olden days, back in RE, India would be very comfortable going for 10-10 aggro, mid-map, 12 CP rush, but in this current meta with the lakota, a little bit buffed, extra villager in the first stage, extra villager in the second age. TPs are quite cheap. That's Russian lakota these days are not what you do often. So a crowd coming down. Wonder what the next batch of wood's going to result in. We'll have to find out from Fitzbro. He's gone for a second trend post, so it's just left over wood. Maybe spare tribal marketplace. To be honest, there's nothing wrong having leftover wood actually as a native civilization, because you don't want to be unable to mine coin at a moment's notice. But yeah, India, I think they have the economy, they have the kind of the unit variability of the Gurkha, the Zambraks to do with age 2 play. They have Urumi for the third age, for the Boras spam, versus all their cavalry, though, might be a bit of an issue, but I'm sure Snoopa does have camel attack. He does have camel attack. So you can go for a Zambrak spam in the third age to help him as well. He does have 9 Zams in deck. Does have water options as well by his deck, it seems. So, Snoopa is not limited to what he can do. The world's his oyster, we can say. So that's all good to see. And Fitzbro pushing out with early 4 axes and is an explorer, but getting beaten back by Sepoys. So it looks like here from Fitzbro, he went for the 4 axe rider shipment and trade a batch of 5 vills. I've been saying to Fitzbro to do this build, 4 axes, send 5 vil, then send 700 coin and age up fast, age up with tempo, and try and be aggressive. I think that's what Fitzbro wants to try and do here with the lakota. He's going to move around and try to push in this direction here to get maybe a vil or 2. Stable coming up, constant coming up here from Snoopa. Looking to send exports, probably going to go for the Ottoman consulate here for the villagers, for the CM potential, and kind of sits on the back foot for the time being. Yep, top side here, cavalry raid onto the trading post. We see a couple burrows actually tanking on sepoys. Need to get them away though. They're not. It's not a trade you want to take, but a couple villagers in base who have to go into the town centre. I don't think anybody really went down there. A couple vills. This one vill being really packed. Managing just to jump into the town centre there, and yeah, the two sepoys have gone down, but losing a lot of HP on 3 bow riders, losing the bow rider there as well. One Gurkha being made here from Snoopa. Actions on both sides. Whoever can best multitask here will do very well, and 2 Zams is enough to push this back. And yes, I think early exchanges so far have gone in Snoopa's favour and just delays the game. India grows into it, as we always know, especially with the Ottoman consulate now, and potential villager shipments coming behind. Sepoy is trying to get the train post. Another batch of 5 bow riders coming out, and they're reinforcing bows from earlier on. This is a good engagement here for Fitzbro, doing very well to pick up these units. And yeah, Fitzbro just on the mark this game. It feels real, a very good level of play we're seeing here from Fitzbro. Went 700 wood as his next card. I wonder what he wants to spend all that wood on. I don't really see what he can do. What he could do is go for the natives, the Seminole, the Carib, and research their text in there, which is going to be the Carib Garifuna drums, the Carib Kasiri beer. So this is a bow rider bonus versus villagers. This is bow rider attack. The Seminole as well is a 15% attack for archers. That's a lot of wood actually. So that's where your 500 wood will go, is the TP, and then to get that attack. But in that case, you might as well just send cavalry attack instead. So a little bit here and there. Moving in, 1 villager going down. Very, very nice. A good play there. Great Hunters coming in from behind here from Fitzbro. So the 700 wood into Great Hunter. You feel you would have to go into 700 coin afterwards. I just feel that the 700 wood here is kind of delayed. It's more of an eco tech and kind of the natural flow of the build order, but we're seeing here. I know that Sheckler's a big fan of 5 vil Great Hunter 700 coin, where this is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 card age 2, it seems, which, you know, can be done on the 2 training posts, but now with the Indian eco, he's going water. Oh, Fitz is going water as well. Fitz has actually beaten the Indian player to the water, which is not often what you see. Still massing that bow riders, forcing kind of Gurkha Zam production here from Snoopa in base. This is a fight, but Fitz is going to clean. Okay, some Gurkhas coming up from the aggro, but being grouped with the rest of the Gurkhas and kite back. They kind of run around the mine. Another Vill going down. 2 Vills actually going down the coin mine as well. That's a great pick up there from Fitzbro. And Snoopa really has to work hard to try and get his Zambrak mass out defensively. He's got a lot of fishing boats in queue, trying to get this next boom onto the water going. Fitzbro as well, just a single fishing boat. Could go maybe... he's gone for a second corral and a war heart. Okay, I don't like... I think... It's hard to say. It's hard to quantify because he's got 3 production. He's not going to have ability to make 3 units. He's just making pure bow rider spam, which is, you know, a decent... It is a possible way to win, but in this matchup versus India... I think having a community fire pit could work. He's still got actually wood left over, so he's going to be training fishing boats. Oh, he sent 600 wood as well. Oh, it's interesting. Okay, I'd like to see a community fire pit so you can actually get fertility dance going, which he does. Okay, he does have it, yes. Okay, this is actually going to work really nice. I like how this is kind of all fits together. The fertility dance, the dock boom, extra wood crates. Okay, misses a batch of burrows there, but it doesn't really matter. Ideally, I think he wants to... Well, he needs to send 700 coin. I think 700 coin here makes more sense than the cavalry upgrade. So you can either mass another 10 bow riders or try and get that age in. And then now you can have all your coin miners on the food, making good use of that income and the double corral, and just swarm in with like another 20 bow riders in the near future. That's the potential what I'm seeing here. But the actual, you know, the 5 villagers on fertility dance, it's something I've thought about quite often. I think if you can get it in a build of a, you know, nice kind of has Lakota seen a dock from India? I don't think so. No, but he does have vision on the water from early scouting, and can notify that the fish has been gathered. But the dock came down here from Fitzbro the same time as the dock from Snoopa, so I don't think he anticipated a dock there. And it's just lucky that a dock's dropped down at the same time. Fitzbro trying to go for a sneaky backdoor raid here. Do very well not to take this treasure. Do not take this treasure. Oh, he's taking this treasure. Fitzbro, you've just revealed your position to this big Snoopa. And yeah, Snoopa doesn't see it. Oh, he will see the treasure. It's like 100 coin. I know where that treasure is. Quick, run the vills. And yeah, you just see a massive ball of green coming this way. And actually, is Fitzbro going topside? No, he's going to fall back. There's a small line of sight. If Fitzbro can just run behind his trees, could actually get a massive raid on his villagers on the back coin mine. And yeah, that's going to be huge, because the coin in base doesn't last forever. I know Fitzbro would see us tempted to go in this way, but man, if he gets that coin raid, that is going to be near enough game ending. 2 vills there going down, probably 3. Eastern Medicine coming. Eastern Medicine saving 1 vill there from certain doom, but another 2 go down. British is constantly coming out as well, so these villagers are certainly very tanky. 213 HP on their villagers. Getting in. Gillnets does have 12 fishing boats. Great to see Gillnets coming in. Get it in really, really early. And yeah, it looks like these villagers need to run away from the Burrows again. Burrows having no negative multiplier. And if Fitz can get any of these archer attacks from the Seminole or the Carib, yeah, just imagine if these Burrows had the double multiplier versus village attack from the Caribbean settlements. That'd be so tough here for Snoopa, and just Fitzbro is running Snoopa around and really dominating proceedings here, or having at least the tempo in his advantage. Snoopa having to resort to the water to try and maintain his eco, and Fitzbro on the water as well, playing very well. This is very impressive play here from the Lakota players, certainly. And Snoopa now sending in caravels. Has he seen the dock on the water? This is a blind caravel shipment as well. I guess caravels is nice to secure the water. If you've got no vision or no anticipation, then I would like to see camel attack coming for your Zambrats, because that's the only real way you can deal with the mobility of Lakota, is to kind of match them in that situation. You have enough wood now to go for steel traps, so these fishing boats should be at the steel traps level, which I don't think they are, because they have rendering plant and gill nets, and long lines is 30% food and wood. And if you have the spare wood and gold, and you go in this water with 13 fishing boats, it is crucial to tech, and he's teching it now. But yes, it's very crucial to get that teched in. Couple of houses going down. This is kind of getting to the point of the game where a couple walls would actually really help the Indian player not to lose too many units. Like a wall from here to the house. If you can wall this up, that would be super, super smart. Pushing in with the caravels. Let's see the dock actually. 3 caravels should do quite well versus the dock. Fitzbro is may want to try and produce canoes. Can't really afford the wood, because he's spending the wood instead on elite bow riders, and this is actually a great play from Fitzbro, aging up. Staying at H2 was a possibility, but he's aged up at the right time. He's going to go for elite bow rider. He has his Tashunki deck, but I like to see cavalry combat and kind of forget that the Tashunkis exist, and really emphasize production onto the bow riders, and maybe try and go for a bow rider dog soldier timing. So do something like send cav combat, and then your next card be 3 dog soldiers, timing it with the 18-minute dog soldier big button as well. Wakina's probably not what you need in this matchup. They do perform the role that they need to perform, but I'm excited to see this massive right click of just Lakota cavalry decimate Indian forces here. Snoopa now walling up, playing defensive. He realizes he needs to hold on. Now that Big Snoopa has access to the water, shipment ready to send. He could wait for a 9 Zam shipment, but honestly, when you've got the entire water, I think a fish market here is good, and the continuous production of fishing boats. 15 fishing boats is not what you need. You want to be up to about 25 to 30. So you can saturate the whales, gather the fish, but the more you invest into the water eco, the quicker it pays off, and you can invest back into your army. That's kind of how. Oh my God! A huge raid here. Villagers on 4 deers, not having enough food eco on the water to sustain him. Going forward for a hunt and loses 8 vills there, maybe 9 to 10. That's way too many to be losing there from Snoopa, and that he'd be kicking himself for that. Gurkha's moving forward, discipline Zam, but remember, you don't really engage in while you're aging up versus a Fortress Age player who's already sent Cav combat, Cav HP and Cav attack. These units are jacked, bro. Very, very strong. Aging up with the Charminar Gate for the Mahout, which would be quite nice to get on top of the Wakinas, but so many elite bow riders here, it's going to be very tough to hold. Remember, bow riders and Zambraks don't get any multipliers on each other. It's the Gurkhas here trying to do their best to try and get enough kills onto the Zambraks. Will we see the minute Musketeers being called from the Brick Consulate? It is a possibility. 2 shipments ready to go. That long fish market could be called in a long time ago. 2 shipments likely to be 8 Gurkhas into 9 Zams. No food available to go for Yurumi behind us, but a Yurumi pop would be insane. Minutemen do come out. Elephants are away from the action, could get in. It's a decent trade here from... It's a decent... Fitzbro's had a good engagement here. He's killed so much, but the follow-up here from Fitzbro, I'm a bit worried about. Snoopa does have the water, and I think Snoopa realises he needs more fishing boats. Up to 19 with more fishing boats in queue, and so much wood potential for another town centre being produced. And the siege, lack of siege here from just pure bow riders is going to be a bit of a problem. But it's 18 minutes. Fitzbro, his point of view. He also has no food. He's a lot of villagers chilling on the attack dance, which is great to see. Making good use of the attack dance is what you want to see in a final... Well, no, it's not a final engagement because he's running away. When I say final, if you're going to go for a massive fight, make sure you do have your war dance working so you do maximise all your units. The Wakina rifles at the moment are 20 attack with just the siege dance, but when we go back to war dance, these will get buffed up to 22 with just 10 villagers on, and they can max out at 25 with a full garrison on the fire pit. Yeah, I think Lakota's counterable. I don't think Lakota is a super high tier civ. You just need to play slightly different. This defensive play here from Snoopa is working well. He's got the water and all the resources. He's got his guys gathering food at 1.17 food per second. That's more than what a villager can gather, and he can't be raided. Like, it's a win-win at the moment in that sense. I think that's like what Snoopa needs to play into a little bit more in this situation. Does have a frigate to help him if he needs. Did he send 3 caravels? He sent 3 caravels. Is he? He might have actually. I must have missed that. I don't know why you would. Yurumi out in the field. Yurumi engaging Wakina bow riders there, trapped by the Yurumi. This is actually a great engagement. These units do counter bow riders. They will go down, but it does allow the units behind to do some decent exchange. But there's not enough Gurkhas here. These disciplined Gurkhas, low numbers, only single Agra and barracks, but it does get double production from here. More shipments from all these sheeps. Probably has to send 7 Gurkhas at the moment just to try and hold on. But he's still trying to exchange with low number Gurkhas. I think you've got to be, if you're going to do this, you need to be certain that you're going to win this Gurkha war. And yeah, versus just Wakinas, the Gurkhas will win. But as soon as the bow riders turn on, it's like, the big brother's annoyed. He's going to come in for a massive flank here, and he's back. The economy from Snoopa here is good. He just needs to back off, hold space, and trying to remass. Like, yes, a Mansardar Gurkha's just come out, but the Gurkha count so low. Oh, Tashunki and Dog Soldier timing. The thing is, Fitzbro, he's just got himself 8 Tashunki Prowlers, but why not call the Dog Soldier Big Button from the town centre so much stronger than just 8 Tashunkis at the moment? Missing the trick here. Need to go for that Dog Soldier Big Button. At the moment, you'll be getting 6 Dog Soldiers, soon be 7. And, Dog Soldiers twice the amount of HP, more attack, multipliers versus light infantry as well, and have a higher range resist, just outclassed as Tashunki greatly. And I always Fitzbro's obsession with Tashunki Prowlers always continues to amaze me. I don't get the big hype about it, but because maybe I'm not the Lakota Master. Fitzbro is the Lakota Master, and the Gurkhas are having to run away from the Tashunkis. They're about to engage in a good exchange. Zambrax do get shipped from the home city here. 5 axe riders are about to come from the home city here from Fitzbro. Yeah, I guess he's run out of shipments he can send. 5 axes are still a very good shipment to send. Zambrax not upgraded. It's a bit of a shame. Double stable and no elite Zambrax is a bit tough to do if he needs disciplined Zambrax to deal with triple carded cavalry, especially hand cavalry like Tashunki and axe riders coming in. Where's axe riders gone? They're going somewhere, maybe down here. No, they're not in the field just yet. In base, yeah, they're on the fire pit just chilling, but they're only colonial, they're not elite, so it's not missing out too much. And yeah, Snoopa having to micro for their life, and with all this extra wood, a couple of castles go down as well, could do very well. This needs to be gated to get them out of the way, and just needs to get a mass together. Is what is the crying call from Snoopa, is establish a mass, and then you can push back while you have water control. A lot of caravels here have been chilling, but they could have been on that massive fight on this top side. And Fitzbro now taking the kind of score lead, taking the position lead. Town centre, another town being established into the northern side. That could be quite nice for him to kind of move out there and keep his villagers still gathering. 58 villagers here from Snoopa, but Fitzbro's up to 50 himself because his villagers have been gathering unraided, and especially as Snoopa's been playing on more of the back foot for the time being. Just been Zambrax pushing down onto his villagers, and yeah, these 2 villas will go down to the wall in, unfortunately, having to run past all the skirmishers. And Tashunkis will just rip through the consulates and the houses. It has to be said here from Fitzbro, he still has access to Dog Soldier Big Button, and that's only increasing. 7 Dog Soldiers available, and in 1 minute's time it will be 8. Just needs to secure the food to send that strong technology, and may need to hold off production of bow riders and axe riders for the time being to make it happen. Town centre have been dropped next to the coast as well. That's kind of a nice idea. Warships to protect. Remassing the Zambrax as well. Killing off quite a few vills as well, forcing these villagers back. There's the one talking about. This villager holding a piece of log, saying, how much do you want for this piece of log? It's a nice circular piece of log. I might give you 5 coin for it. Oh no, that's like the finest mahogany of North America. It has to be 8 coin at least. Wonder, Charminor Gate has gone down. Was that a mass delete, or was it just me graphical bug not seeing Snoopa's base for a bit of a while? Might be that's the case. Anyway, Snoopa not having British East India Company being sent. Still no camel attack. Remember when Snoopa was sending cards like 2 Caravel and 3 Caravel, and instead of having this camel 30% attack, and that's what he would really wish he had on his Zambrax to kind of haul him out of this mess versus the hand cavalry at least. Now they are disciplined. That's good to see. 400 export maybe could go for a constant to get the batch of musks. Might be a bit of a too much to invest for the time being. He's got so many. Look at the food and coin that Snoopa has. He just needs to mass everybody onto the trees, get the houses down, and keep it, and just hold off and buy time. Hold and buy time. That's all he needs to do. But Fitzbro's pushing in, and he just wants. He wants to end this. He wants his TPs coming down. Remember, we're not in the proximity to the first train post. Town TPs can be put anywhere on the land, buffing the HP of all these units exponentially as well. Super strong in that sense. He doesn't have the TP attack card. Another batch of Zams come out. This game is on a knife edge. I feel that India can have this if he holds on, plays defensively, does well. Can still send 2 Mahoots. He's got a shipment and can send a Mahoot card. This is big. The bow rider mass is going dwindling a little bit. They can tank quite enough. House is going down to the southern side. Have these got the villagers been cleaned up? I think they've stopped. Oh no, there's a villager here just building. Given up on the town centre for the time being. Just not enough villagers to do that. Some villagers topside as well. Need to stop mining, get onto the trees, get chopping, get a market down, click that buy wood button a couple of times. And yeah, it's and also Snoopa's just trying to kite with 13 Gurkhas versus well, an entire Lakota army. Why 21 Wakinas boosted by the TPs and war dance? You can't take that fight. You need to back and run like the Zam's doing. Yes, the fish is almost out. The fish are out, to be honest. That is a bit of a blow, but there's still 5 whales on the water. That's a lot of coin to be harvested and 2 hunts on the coast. Just basically needs to kind of run his way that way. Zams need to come back into the villagers, but the Gurkhas have already gone down to the Wakinas. The Wakinas are actually winning a skirmisher fight versus, you know, a strong skirm civ like the Indians. And now it's starting to look really dicey. A stable coming down here for the Indian player. Back onto the woodland. And Fitz taking 4 training posts. Soon to get stagecoach, you'd have to assume. Dog Soldier button still not yet called. Still train more Tashunkies. 18 in total now. So 18 altogether. They do actually quite well. These stats over here. 500 HP, 40 attack. Still a little bit down on the HP and the kind of the cost benefit that elite Dog Soldier can provide you. And with Fitz nearly at that 27-minute mark. There it is. That's 9 Dog Soldiers. What is it with Lakota players not going for their Dog Soldier big button? Crucial part of their game plan. 1k wood coming in. That could provide you plantation and gun trades to boost your Wakinas. There's also maybe going for the Seminole Carib settlements for teching your bow riders. And in comes the charge here. I don't really see... Oh, there's a big batch of Gurkhas. Where's the caravels? Get into the caravels! You got warships. The warships, they are coming. They are slowly coming, but I'm not too sure they'll come fast enough. Just been Zams. They've been picked off by Wakinas again. And just the transformation between... the transformation between Dutch Fitzbro and Lakota Fitzbro is chalk and cheese. It's insane. And yes, those Gurkhas just going down. They can't even fire their rifles before they get melted by Tashunki, a single Dog Soldier. Fitzbro has the resources for Dog Soldier big button. Come on, Fitz. Let's see it. Let's see the big button before you clean up the rest of the army. Maybe just try and age up to the 4th age behind this and tech Tashunkis or auto-tech them. Tashunkis are melting. 2 Mahouts coming out. Unfortunately, the rest of the army has gone down before they can... You know, a quad kill on Wakinas is nice, but too little, too late, as they would say. And I think Fitzbro's storming to victory here. And we'll be picking up a game and a point. Well done, Fitzbro. What a great game. Seriously well played there. And Fitzbro and Snoopa, I think, will be disappointed with that game. Losing many villagers in the first age, being bullied by Lakota Burrows and then Wentwater for the longest time, only having 12 fishing boats while having so much wood stacked and unable to get that mass early age 3. Just wanting to back and mass, but just always trying to take off little engagements, but losing that Gurkha mass, which, you know, a large Gurkha mass with the Charmanar, Mansabdar, Gurkha, Mansabdar, Zambrak with a Zam mass. No Camel Attack was sent by Snoopa as well. You don't need Desert Terror. I like how he doesn't have Desert Terror in his deck. I don't think it's a good card, but Camel Attack's a great card. Really good card that never came in. And yeah, Fitzbro deserved that game. He played that really well. And yeah, fair play. So that series has ended 2-1 in favour of Snoopa. He still wins the series. He bags himself 2 points. Fitzbro will take a valuable points to his position in the league as well. And I think after this series, I will update the leaderboards and I'll post the current standings in the Discord for you to check to see who is currently leading the championship and who is bringing up the rear. But wherever people place, it's just fun. It's good to see these games and it's good to see all the players actually enjoying it. I think a lot of players have been letting me know that they've been enjoying these semi-competitive games. But it's not too much of a burden. But it's nice to know that they have weekly fixtures, which is nice to see. Oh, well, it's not weekly, it's rounds, but the players have decided it's weekly. They're slowing it down. Come on, boys, I want to turn up the pace of this championship before the ESOC Premier League 3 and ESOC Challenger League kicks off early October. So that's what we're trying to achieve, guys. Military population, yeah, Fitzbro pushing in with lots of units. This was a good trade here for Snoopa because Fitzbro lost half the army, and that was his main power spike. And the ecos at this moment was so great for Snoopa, but he's just trying to fight with 20 population versus 60. It was never going to work, and could have utilized the water caravels to help him pick up a few more units than that. And I'm sure watching this, Snoopa will know how to come back stronger and win the next time he plays versus Fitzbro. And that's the thing, yeah. This weekend as well, if I do put this, chances are I'll put this YouTube video on YouTube after it's actually happened. So this is going to be a bit redundant, but for you guys on Twitch watching right now, Fitzbro is hosting a big show match between Snoopa and Big Chiss on the weekend. He said he wants to do it on the Sunday night, which is going to be a bit annoying for us. I'd rather him do it on the Friday or Saturday night, but Sunday night. So go and cheer on Big Snoopa and Big Kiss for a good series. Exciting to see. Quite a lot of cash being raised for it, actually. Fitzbro must have a lot of good friends in wealthy places, because I saw someone drop $50 to him, like thinking, wow, that's a lot to give players of our standards, which is it's good to see. I'll be excited to watch that and see how Fitzbro runs that event. So certainly go check that out, follow his channel, make sure you find out when that's been done. Resources, just even at the end, the resources were diverging away for Snoopa. That must hurt to see. Must hurt to see. But for you guys on YouTube, if you haven't seen that Snoopa Chiss series, go look on Fitzbro's YouTube channel or past broadcasts on Twitch. Subscribe to this channel so you get to see all the casts being uploaded. I'm putting together a playlist with all the casted series, so you get to see them back all in one place at a later point. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this series. It's again another fun series. Loving doing these. Hope you enjoy as well, and I'll see you in the next series.